this after you come back after a tough first day. Can you just talk about how the guys did out there on day 2?
Yeah, I thought it was great energy today. And so before practice started, to your point, we talked about the first day, not trying to take away anything from the guys because they brought great energy, but it's easy to be energetic and like positive and upbeat on the first day. The second day is probably one of the hardest where you're a little bit more sore, you're a little bit more tired, and I think that's where you build a little bit more like competitive character. The discipline to actually continue to do the things that we want to do at a really high level, even though it's going to be harder to do it. And I thought the guys, they came in with the right amount of focus and energy today throughout.
You know, you talk about the competitiveness of this team, and you look this year, this team has depth at the wings like they haven't had before. Can you just kind of talk to some of that wing depth that outside of Brandon and Miles, some of these other guys, and what that's going to do for this team to have that competitive drive?
Yeah, I think it just helps overall us being able to throw a lot of different bodies at people, defensively, offensively, because all those wings that like you refer to, they all do things differently. And I think that it gives you a different punch on both ends of the court, which is what we need. We need to be able to like keep teams on their heels and uncomfortable on both sides of the floor.
And you look at a guy like Josh Green who can do a little bit of everything. How have you seen him fitting in with this team so far in camp?
Oh my gosh, I'm Mr. Competitiveness and all this stuff. So to watch Josh make all these extra efforts and multiple efforts that we've been in our coaches meetings sometimes where we're like, let's just try not to mess Josh up. Like, he's able to do both a lot of times, and he's got his own technique for doing it. But he's done a great job of being open-minded to doing things differently, defensively, but also offensively. I think now we're going to put him in some situations where he's got to handle the ball a little bit more, and like we're going to use him to facilitate because he has such a well-rounded game. He's more than just a defender. That will be kind of like his first point of emphasis or like his trademark, but he's got so much more to give, and I'm excited for him to be able to showcase it this year.
One of those young wings, Tidjane, as a rookie, how has he been looking so far in his first couple good days of camp? It seems like his engine is just at 110 all the time.
You're right, and I think that we're just going to have to get to a point where we kind of like dial back the engine and teach him, hey, the subtleties of the game, and like you got to break down your feet before you get here, but you'd love to start with a player that has a high engine and a high motor, and then you just work on kind of all those other techniques and stuff as you go.
So you've emphasized on the most important guy concept, and just how has this approach has been received by the team, and like over the past 2 days, how have you seen like overall?
Yeah, I've seen great improvement, and it's one of those things where it's probably a little bit of an awkward acronym or word for them to use, but it's something that sticks with them then. And so they've been walking around in their daily conversations and casual conversations, and I hear them cracking jokes on the bus sometimes about like, oh yeah, I was the MIG on that one. So it's been used in a lot of different references, but I do think that when it's time to come into practice, they've shown an extra level of individual pride.
Where's some of the areas that you're trying to maybe change the way the Hornets play compared to what you've seen from this team in the past now that it's under a new regime?
I think just being able to sustain our efforts, not get too down on ourselves, continue to believe in ourselves in every facet of the game, believe in our preparation, believe in our togetherness, our competitiveness, whether we're up or down. Like we just have to sustain all of those areas of the game, and I've seen this team do it from afar. For one game or one day or 1 week, and I just think that as we're trying to build sustained success and have consistency, we need to rep it out in practice on a daily basis, and it becomes a mindset for us.
And in a lot of ways, injuries have kind of taken away opportunities for these guys to play together. Are you starting to see maybe a hierarchy or a leader emerging in the group that guys are trying to follow and get behind?
I just think collectively, they've all taken ownership of this is their program. And so like if we want to talk about, we want to have different outcomes, we just have to have the actions to help put us in the best position to affect those outcomes. And I think that everyone collectively is just taking ownership of their own games, and they've brought a good level of togetherness, I think, to our group.
So hard on day one. How did day 2 go?
It was great. I think the guys really responded well. I think they had a great first day. Coach's big emphasis was coming in second day and making sure that we're ready to go, and it's just part of like the season. It's like the same thing as back to back and games like that, and I think the guys responded great to that. It's awesome to be out there and competing with them.
We've seen you running with that first group right now. How are you feeling like you're fitting in with this team early on through training camp?
Yeah, I mean they've been very welcoming. It's been it's been awesome. It's been awesome being around these guys. You know, a younger team, but really good guys, great players, and get up and down in transition, and it's fun.
You know, Coach says he almost feels spoiled bringing in a guy like you who's able to do things both on the offensive and defensive end. Is that really your calling card, being able to be that kind of dual threat?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you know, I'm ready for, you know, whatever coach needs me for, and whatever the team needs me for. I like to win, so I'm just competitive, and however that is, that's the impact I want to make on the game.
Talk about competitive. There's a lot of depth on the wings for this team, probably more so than most years with the Hornets. How does that help you guys to kind of get you all going?
I mean, I think it's great. I think training camp's a great example of that. You know, just making sure, you know, it's competitive, but also everyone's getting reps and rotating, so everyone has a feel for each other. So, I mean, I think it's been great. The young guys being amazing. I'm young too. I don't know why I always say that, but yeah, I mean, I think it's been a very competitive setting.
What stands out so far about a Charles Lee run training camp?
I think he's, you know, I think just leader in general. I think he's a great leader. He knows what, you know, knows what it takes to win. You know, unfortunately, I was on the other side of that last year and playing against him. But at the end of the day, you can tell that he's a great leader. He knows how to, you know, take charge of the team, and I think the guys are all, you know, ready. We're all ready to go to battle with him.
Camp day 2 here at Duke. How are things going for you? Usually the second day is when bodies really kind of start to feel a little bit after an intense first day. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Obviously a little sore like everybody out here, but just trying to build on the day before, keep the energy levels up. It's really not about like evaluating how well so-and-so is playing. It's about picking up concepts, trying to get used to playing with each other, and our communication and stuff like that. That's the key things we're looking for.
You know, we talk about the camaraderie and that communication out there on the court. It seems like right now everyone is doing that very well. Do you feel comfortable that the young guys are buying in with the veterans as well?
Yeah, all our attitudes have been great in the gym so far. From the young guys to the older guys to the coaching staff, everybody's on the same page as far as energy level, attitude, communicating, and we're getting better every day.
Has it set in? What's it like being back here after a couple of days practicing out there, being out on the court here at Duke?
It's been great. It's kind of nostalgic being back on campus. Being back on campus, I mean, it's great seeing some of the places I walked 12 years ago. So it's good to be back in this gym and get some work in.
Seth, what are your impressions being of the Duke team that you've been around so far this summer or whenever you've been around them?
I ain't seen much of them, honestly. So, I mean, talking to the coaching staff and some of the people to work with, and Coach Will, and talking about the young guys. Everybody's raving about the work they put in, the group they got this year, a lot of new guys. So I'm excited. Hopefully I can get in and watch a practice tomorrow or Friday or whenever or someday and just get a glimpse of them.
How often do you find yourself getting back to Durham since your time's here?
Not much, honestly. My first few years out, I would come back every summer, but once then I got a family and all that, and traveling all over the country during the summer, it's hard to get back. But yes, I mean, keep in touch with some of my old teammates and coaching staff, and always watching from afar.
What are the memories that go through your mind as you walk around this place and in Cameron?
A lot of great memories. From my time here. I mean, I love this place. Kind of molded me into who I am and put me on a great path for my basketball career and off the floor. So, like I said, walking in some of the rooms, walking into the film room, had a lot of good times in there, a lot of rough times with Coach getting on me in that film room, but it's fun to come back.
What was one of those times that sticks out in your mind as far as the film session?
It's plenty. Some I don't want to share, but a lot of memories in there. Just the coach, like I said, holding us accountable, praising us for big games. It's just, I mean, like I said, this place molded me to who I am in that film room, and just the coaches teaching us is one of those places.
You've got a training camp with a lot of teams under a lot of coaches. What stands out about Charles Lee running his first training camp so far?
He's been great. Like, he's really, him and the staff have made an emphasis to bring the energy levels up in the gym every single day. Just being active and themselves and being vocal themselves, and that's trickling down into the team. So these first 2 training camps have been great as far as pushing us, making it tough on us, but at the same time listening to what guys need, pre-practice, post-practice, to get their bodies right.
How did you feel at like having Coach K watching you practice? Any motivations or emotions?
Yeah, it was cool having Coach in the gym. I mean, anytime he's there, you want to put on a show for him and represent Duke and this program well. So it's good to see. It's always good to see Coach, especially in this gym where we spend a lot of time together. So it's special.
It looked like you had some Duke colorways on today. Was that intentional or just?
Oh yeah, I got the Currys on. But yeah, I took it back to the Duke colorway of blue and white. So that was definitely intentional.
How's training camp going for you so far?
It's not so hard for my body, but we have a good energy with the team, and I try to follow the energy, the instruction of the coach, and to be the most efficient for later.
Coach said he loves the energy that you are bringing, and it's evident that you're going at 100, but sometimes wants you to kind of slow down a little bit just to digest things. Is that something that he's trying to instill in you?
Yeah, of course. I know I put a lot of energy, but after it's just natural, so I try to control this, but I think with the time I will be maybe slower on the court, but for now I just try to keep my control, but I got a lot of energy to share, that's why.
Has an NBA training camp been what you expected it to be, or has it been surprising to you the way that this has been going?
I didn't really expect something about the training camp. I just know it was to practice for one day, but after it's not so hard like everybody expect or talk about the training camp, the event of the year, you know. So yeah.
For you, have you kind of bonded with some other guys? We know there's a lot of depth on the wings here. Have there been certain players that you've kind of gotten closer with while you've been here?
I would say everybody, all my teammates. We speak, we on the court, of course, and I try to have their experience on the court, and they share some details to help me.
What's been the biggest adjustment getting in there and involved in playing with NBA players as opposed to your experiences in Europe?
I think it's about the ball movement. It's more. You have to play more with your brain, I would say. Like, it's not like in Europe or you play with a lot of system. Here they have some transition, and after it's just you just keep going, keep going, run, keep shooting with confidence if you're alone, and they have only one pass. Just shoot if you're alone. It's not like in Europe we try to slow down every time, you know.
And is there anyone on the team in particular that is taking you under their wing, or that you're trying to mold your game after, or model what you're doing out there after?
I don't know. Everybody talk with me and try to help me.